So the top 3 most popular pets are cats, dogs, and birds. Now, out of the birds, what is one of the most world famous or world popular parrots? One of the top 2 is a cockatiel. What are the top 10 reasons why these guys are so popular? Hi, I'm Kaylin, the author of the Parrot Bliss Bond, your handbook to help you create a wonderful life for your parrot so that you can give them the quality life that you want to give them, so you can have the quantities of bliss. I'm also a novelist. Check out Cake by the Ocean. Now, parrots are my bliss, and I love helping you find your bliss with parrots by helping you through diet, blissful bonding activities, and understanding a parrot's perspective. In this video, we're going to understand why our perspective is that parrots are so cool by learning 10 things plus a bonus that are awesome about cockatiels. So what makes a cockatiel so wonderful and such a popular first parrot? Well, number 1, this is a parrot that can bite. They do bite, but compared to almost every other parrot, they almost like don't bite. It's just like not in their essence. So that's a wonderful thing about cockatiels. Number 2, if you want a cuddly parrot, generally speaking, I think 99 times out of 100, a cockatiel is a sweet, loving parrot that, especially if you get him as a baby, is going to grow up to want to be with you and want to cuddle with you. They're just adorable. Number 3, they have a really nice temperament. This is a parrot that is kind of like always in a sweet mood. This is a parrot that whistles a lot. They can talk, but they seem to be more of whistlers. At least the males, not so much the females. But they have a really nice temperament along with that whistling. I mean, who could be in a bad mood when they're whistling, right? So in that sense, they are the whistling temperament. If you get yourself a cockatiel, one thing that you might want to get is your bottle of Tink's Parrot Relief. This is CBD in hemp oil. And the thing is, you may not know this, but cockatiels can get night terrors. And that's where at night, they need to really be in a cage, because they can wake up and like fall off their perch and not know where they are and kind of go crazy. They're going to stress out if that happens. And that's just because they can have night terrors. They just can get scared and kind of thrown off easily at night. So make sure to get your bottle of Tink's Parrot Relief on parrotbliss.com so that you can help your parrot in case it gets stressed for any reason. Back to our countdown. Number 4, cockatiels are very people oriented. They just like do really well with us. They're very sweet and just in that sense, very congenial parrots. Number 5, one of my favorite things, the Cockatoo family, which cockatiels are a part of, are the only family of parrots that show their emotions with that little crown. Did you just see that little crown go up? It'll go down in a minute too. There it goes. She's like curious, or he, I don't know, looking around. This baby doesn't have a name yet. This is my Luna Loves baby, and I kept this baby because this baby, I'm guessing, is male. There's no really good way to tell until they're a little older or you DNA. But since it's my Luna Love Cockatiels baby, and he looks like her, I had to keep him. And they are, after all, so people oriented. You could see that he's still hand feeding because he's got baby formula beard. All right, next. A great thing about this parrot is this is a parrot that generally gets along with other cockatiels and budgies like nobody's business, as if they were friends. Sometimes they just kind of ignore each other, But this is a parrot that isn't going to instigate bites. You're just not going to have a problem. If you already have a cockatiel and you want to add a second one, I don't think you're going to have a problem. If you have a budgie and you want to add a cockatiel or vice versa, I don't think you're going to have a problem. They're just too sweet and too friendly. So it makes it really nice and easy to give them a companion and not worry about whether or not they'll get along. This is a parrot that's a great size. They're not like a little parrot like one of my parrotlets or a lovebird, and they're not a big parrot like an Amazon or an African gray. This is a parrot that easily fits on your shoulder, and they're just easy to hold and have on your shoulder and take somewhere or whatever. You know, they're gonna fit in a nice size cage. It's not gonna be like you're gonna need this big cage for them. It's not like that at all. The bigger the cage, of course, as everyone says, is always really good, but in other words, they don't have these big requirements. Number 8, this is a cockatiel. This is a parrot that is very soft. They're one of the softest, the whole cockatoo family is. Now the reason for that is because instead of producing oil for their feathers, they produce a dust. If you have asthma or some sort of allergy like that, you may need to either look at perhaps a different parrot or get a HEPA filter or do something like that, because they definitely produce this dander that's like this very light snow. If you only have 1 or 2 in your house, it may not be a big deal and you may not notice. But there are some parrots like bigger cockatoos that are going to make more dander, and so it also really does depend on how many you have. So that's something to keep in mind, because I guess there's a little price to that softness. Number 9, this is a parrot that is relatively inexpensive and relatively inexpensive to maintain. The truth is, I think that budgies and cockatiels are parrots that are some of the best first parrots, some of the best parrots. They can be found, I think, like everywhere, all over the world, and I think that they are undervalued. I think that unfortunately, because they breed well, maybe because we've had them for so long, maybe people have just gotten really good at breeding them, but they're just too available, and so their price is economical. You're going to find a cockatiel for somewhere above $100, and I could see them going above $200, $250, $300. Some of that depends on your location, and some of it depends on the coloring. So this baby, for example, is not the original or traditional colors and doesn't have the cheek. This is, I believe they call it a cinnamon pearly face because there's no little red cherry. What else do they call you? But anyway, so this one's a factor. But that means that they are just a great parrot as far as taking care of them goes. They're just not too expensive. Number 10. This is also a great parrot because I have never heard of a one-person cockatiel. That means that they're a great family bird. It's not like my Amazon, who likes me and lunges at everyone else. And that lunge is started by her beak. Unfriendly, difficult. Cockatiels aren't like that at all. Friendly, sweet, loving. Now, I'm going to give you one last one, a bonus. Number 11. This is the only parrot species out of the 350 to over 400 species when they are categorized, depending on how they're categorized. And it's the only one in the cockatoo family who's going to give you a cockatoo with that beautiful crest that shows how they feel, but that comes in a small package that's easy and that isn't super loud. Unfortunately, one thing about cockatoos, all the other cockatoos, is they can be really loud. Some of them can really damage your hearing. This whistler is a parrot that is going to just be loving and sweet and keep you company. They're not going to break your eardrums. They can be a little loud, but in other words, this is a parrot that kind of has it all. The best of all worlds. Thank you for joining me in this blissful, sweet, loving little package. Until next time.